Our today's session is on how Zomato will deliver food in 10 minutes using data science. And we'll quickly look into that. There are a lot of things which I saw over YouTube and web, Google as well. That a lot of these people are talking about these dark stores and predicting the customer behavior, um, all about that. But that is all surface level. We'll quickly look into what's really there within Zomato now, like what are the established systems now, and how they can take advantage of that established system to create a supply chain which will deliver food in 10 minutes using data science. And data science is very important here. So any amount of marketing which you do, any amount of um, good optimizations which you do, sales which you do, without data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, it's not possible. And we'll look into that, how they will distribute the entire supply chain into different parts, and then all of them will work in synergy. Okay, so about me, I have near about 9 years of experience now. I'm working as a data science manager. Um, I am currently working at Ernst and Young, which is one of the big fours. Apart from that, I am currently working with projects related to finance, projects related to telecom, and my past experience is into insurance sector. So I have 4 to 5 domain experience right now with 9 years of my career. I initially started as a software tester, but I switched to big data testing and then to data science back in 2015. It's been more than 6.5 years now, 7 years now. I'm into data science and machine learning. I primarily work with Azure deployments, creating solutions around client problems. I'm working as an individual contributor as well in one of the projects where I am looking into, end-to-end project creation, starting from data gathering to deploying solutions over Azure machine learning. That's all about me. I am also active on YouTube, so you can um, probably look into many of the machine learning scenarios which I have already discussed over my YouTube channel, like how Bharat Pay uses machine learning, and finance is also coming up, and we'll also look into how political parties nowadays also use data science and whatnot. So you can go to either my LinkedIn or YouTube to get into those details. And we'll quickly move on to today's agenda, which is about 10 minutes delivery of Zomato. Before that, we'll quickly look into the company background, and then we'll look into what are the established machine learning systems they have, which will basically support the 10 minutes process of delivery. And then we'll deep dive into how these established systems will work together to deliver the solutions within 10 minutes. And we'll look into some conclusions and takeaways of today's case study. Um, so first, we look into the company background. If you remember, for those who are probably in the late 20s, they will know that when we were in college, probably Zomato began back in 2008 by listing thousands of restaurants in India's six biggest cities. So earlier, what we used to do is we used to log into Zomato to check the menus, right? And then from there you also had option to book restaurants through Zomato website, and they worked like dine out nowadays. But the good thing was we knew what's there in the menu just from zomato.com, and that's how it started. But uh, you know uh, but Zomato actually started with Foodie Bay. And at that time back in 2008, smartphone was um, uh, not that predominant in Indian market, and the internet revolution was also not that fancy, as today. It was not as cheaper, internet was not as cheaper as today, and most of the restaurants used to promote their menus offline using paper flyers and catalogs. Now as we all remember, this all started before internet revolution, and Zomato had little experience with the expansion of how they can expand throughout, right? And at one time they were probably in a dilemma whether this business is making sense. But then Sandeep Bikhchandani came into the rescue. He's also the major stakeholder in Naukri.com as well, and he actually invested $1 million through his Info Edge India Limited. And now back, so this is what was in 2008, and Mr. Sanjeev is also conferred Padma Shri by the current government. Ramnath Kovind also conferred him this prestigious award. And now, cut to 2022, you can see Zomato is listed in the Indian Stock Exchange. Probably a lot many of us have bought the stock. It's not doing that good now, but it has the potential to upshoot. And this 10 minutes delivery might be one agenda behind it. And the current valuation is around $9.5 billion. Zomato has expanded in this grocery segment as well, as they have invested, around $100 million in the grocery delivery startup Grofers, now Blinkit. So they have this supply chain created, delivery platform created both for food delivery as well as, grocery delivery. And through that, they have a robust number of delivery partners on ground, and they will be able to upshoot anything which comes into their way, because they have this ground force running 24/7. Now, about Bikhchandani, who actually invested $1 million, and who was actually the key person who actually invested a lot of money when Zomato was nothing, and now he is holding 19% in Zomato, and has, if you just calculate, it's more than $1 billion, right? At least on paper. So this is how Zomato started from 2008 and cut to 2022. We'll quickly move on to the established system. So if you closely look into Zomato, it's actually working with a lot of machine learning algorithms and AI based systems, which has made the entire process very efficient. So I will quickly discuss one of the things, which is menu digitization, which is of least importance for today's agenda, but just wanted to highlight how far they have went ahead with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. And then we'll talk about personalized homepage restaurant listings, predicting food preparation time, which is a key element in 10 minutes delivery. Then we'll look into enhancing road detection, because, for example, a food is ready to dispatch, but there is a huge traffic. So obviously this doesn't make sense for a 10 minutes delivery, right? And then we look into something called the active delivery person dispatch, right? Now, coming to the first one, which is menu digitization, which is of least importance for today's agenda, but just wanted to show you, is whenever customers want to look for food, and if I am looking for a specific food, probably a butter naan with tandoori chicken, and so on. I'm very specific about what I need. And once you are very specific about what you need from Zomato, you will probably look into many restaurants who will provide you the best deal, who will provide the best rated food, or the top selling food. And so to satisfy this craving of individuals, Zomato has built a machine learning digitized menu without the requirement of any human input. So what this machine learning algorithm does is, you just take a picture of this menu, and it will transform this to a digital menu, and there is no human input required. And this enables Zomato to automatically recommend restaurants to customer based on searches for specific dishes. So if the if l- very less number of foods or dishes are present in Zomato, then it makes the customer experience not so good. So to make sure that we all understand the menu digitization, Zomato has created this solution. Now with this system, Zomato has witnessed improvement in customer experience because more and more customers come into Zomato, and more number of restaurants are there. And restaurants also don't feel the pain of uploading each and every menu item to this platform. Rather, this is done automatically, and their content team also uses it to accelerate online ordering. So this is all about it. If you look into this model, what happens is, like you have a manual menu image, an example for a Paradise Hotel here in Bangalore, right? And then it goes to the machine learning algorithm. It does the text detection, it does the OCR, which is optical character recognition. These are all machine learning models, more specifically, image recognition models. And then it does, section detection and dish classifier. So it automatically classifies, whether it's a veg or a non-veg dish. So nothing has to be done from the human point of view. It is all done, automatically. So this is such a powerful menu digitization model which they have created. So you can understand a manual menu to a digital menu without any human intervention, and the least amount of intervention from the content team of Zomato as well. Now, moving on to the second one, which is most important here, is personalized homepage restaurant listing. So Zomato basically recommends, you know, customer dishes, or probably dishes which are based on some of the factors like the customer past purchases, the browsing history, and what other similar customers in the vicinity are ordering. So, for example, if three of my friends and I join in to watch IPL, and if I wish to order something from Zomato, and all four of us open our homepage, we'll probably see different menus, or rather we'll see different restaurants ordered in specific ways. We'll see different dishes in order of our preferences, because all of us have different past purchases. We have very specific browsing history, which is not 100% match for each of us. And we have a different type of customers who are in our location. So this is how a personalized home restaurant listing is done. So if you can see this image, these two images are very different, but probably from the same location, um, but more to it in the next slide. So how does this work? So they actually look into the customer's past purchases, what type of purchases they have made, whether the individual is a non-vegetarian or a vegetarian, or he is keen on having Chinese food or Indian food or Italian food or whatever it is. And then they also look into their browsing history, whether you are searching for particular uh, food over or dish over Google, right? So they actually track um, uh, this type of browsing, right? Browsing contents. And then they also look into similar customers orders. So um, a lot of us have specific buying patterns. So they also look into based on my customer past purchases and browsing histories, what are other similar customers ordering. And based on that, it actually goes into a model, which the model which they have created basically used a light GBM, and they call it allied GBM ranker, right? So this is again a machine learning model. More to it if you take any course in machine learning. But through this machine learning model, they basically create a personalized homepage, and this is very important for a 10 minutes delivery option also. And this is aimed to optimize order through rate. So it means that more and more people should open Zomato app, and once they open it, the success of placing an order should be very high. So ultimately, if you understand business is all about bringing in revenue. So through this personalized homepage, you are actually bringing, or Zomato is actually bringing in revenue, right? Now, coming on to the third one, which is predicting food preparation time. Now, with this 10 minutes of delivery, when I will show you the breakdown of this 10 minutes delivery at the end, you will understand that predicting food preparation time is also very important, right? There are specific items which are already listed, or which will be actually listed, like these are the items which will be available in 10 minutes. But all of a sudden, so uh, imagine this scenario that momos, for example, are part of 10 minutes of delivery. Now all of a sudden the demand is so high, the demand is so high that even the food preparation time of momo, which takes probably, say for example, 3 minutes of time, right? If it is half done, if you want to make it full done, fully cook it, will probably take 3 minutes of time. But since the demand is so high, right, we will Zomato will not be able to process this within a stipulated time, which should have been done but can't be done. So you can also understand predicting the food preparation time. So even though momo steams in, say, probably 3 minutes, just an example, right, due to the high demand, food preparation time will be also high, right? And at times it might happen that cake, for example, if you order cake, it probably takes 1 minute or 2 minutes to pack a cake. But since the demand is so high, they will not be able to take this due to high demand. So food preparation time is also an important component of estimated delivery time. If you see, the entire 10 minutes is actually your estimated delivery time. And Zomato shares with customers, once they place order, this estimated delivery time, and this is actually calculated based on the food preparation time as one of its component, right? Apart from that, there are many components which we'll talk about in the next section. Now a more accurate food prediction time will translate into more accurate estimated delivery time. So Zomato also calculates this based on the type of data which it gets, and hence it makes it less likely to breach the EDT conveyed to the customer. So the estimated delivery time which they have already conveyed to the customers, right, it should not be breached. So if they are saying that we'll deliver in 10 minutes, so probably you'll get a notification that due to high demand we can deliver it in 10 minutes, probably you'll get it in 15 minutes. That's okay, that's fine, that's not a problem. But they are making sure that whatever is conveyed to the customer is being acted upon. Now coming to the modeling feature, how does this model work, and what are the different input parameters does it takes? It takes into account the quality of dishes ordered. So what are the quality, what is the quantity of dish which is ordered? Say if you order 10 plates of momos and you expect it to be with you, or delivered to your door in at your door in 10 minutes, not possible probably. So quantity of dishes ordered is also important. And then type of dishes ordered, so what type of dish you are ordering, so that is also important. Restaurant behavior, how much demand is there in the restaurant, right? If it is going to if in the restaurant, people, or the footfall in the restaurant is too high, right, it will also depend on the restaurant behavior at that particular time, or past restaurant past delivery of the restaurant based on the 10 minutes delivery. So this will also be a behavior of the restaurant. Coming to this next one, we have the time of day. So what time it is, probably in the evening, a lot of people who works in IT, or who have business, who when you come to home, they probably order a lot, right? And they probably want to have dinner, or in lunchtime, when we are in office, we want to have something over Fridays or Thursdays, right? So time of the day is very important. And then the day of the week is also important, where we have majority of the orders from Friday and Saturday and Sunday, right? So weekends we get a lot of traffic in restaurants. And the last one which I talked about, footfall in the restaurant. So if a restaurant is also a dine-in restaurant, there are individuals or group of people who come and dine in those restaurants. So these are the different input parameters. Based on that, the food preparation time will be estimated. Now these type of models are actually created through bidirectional LSTM based deep learning model. LSTM is actually long short term memory. And uh, here they will be using this deep learning model to analyze huge amount of data. These are actually big data which is feeded to this model. and these models are actually working, on live data. And through this model they will be able to prepare the food preparation time. And as I said, food preparation time is very much important from a estimated delivery time perspective, right? And this model will consider all the features, will provide the food preparation time in a real time. As I said, it is a real time, so it will stream a lot of data from big data applications, and then the model, which is the LSTM based deep learning model, will give you the food preparation time. Now, enhancing the road detection. As you know that, our Indian road is very unstructured, right? We basically work through a lot of pin codes, and we don't have a structured road. And all of these companies, like w- any every company is using, Google based or open source maps, right? These are all open source maps, and these open source map come with, there are a lot of challenges as well. Now, Zomato's, estimated time of arrival and time services and various location based services actually rely on these maps. And as I said, this is a open source format. It open source means it is same for everyone. They cannot, ideally tweak it to make it more optimized. So Zomato actually leverage, extensive delivery partner trip data to reconstruct maps. So they actually look into these data, a real time delivery partner data, to make sure that, they are actually showcasing the right path, or the right, navigation to the delivery partner, so that they reach the destination in time, right? So how does this work? So they have this raw map, which is through Google Map or whatever maps they are using, and they, do a lot of pre and post filtering using, convolutional neural network. So these are the models which they basically use to create a lot of filters and post filters. And how do they do that? Based on the live traffic, or live data which is shared by the delivery partner app. So you all understand, right? There are two types of app. One is for customers like us, and one is for the delivery partner. So delivery partners app will be entirely different. It will be customized according to, their needs, and they will have this map view, which they actually follow in order to deliver these dishes or foods to us. Now, what does this pre and post filtering does, right? This actually helps to, create new roads, right? Where we have Zomato in many cities, in, probably in tier 2 cities as well, and tier 3 cities as well nowadays. And there you will see, a lot of these roads are actually unknown to Google as well, right? So they actually construct these new roads based on how delivery partners, go through in their entire day, or their past delivery. And they actually come up with new unknown roads, they come up with new shortcuts, which in turn results in, dense maps, a lot more dense map. This creates a high estimated time of arrival accuracy. It creates better snapping. It creates, better routing and addressing. And this is actually solved through this pre and post filtering technique using convolutional neural network. Now, once these raw map is passed through this model, what happens is that it removes any type of, GPS noise which is present within the maps. As you know, our delivery, sorry, our maps are very unstructured, so you see a lot of noise as well. Whenever we follow, Google Maps, we see a lot of problems whenever you go to, any outer area, apart from cities. The routes are well not constructed, or not well constructed, and Google is also gives us a hard time. We all have faced it, right? And then uh, through this pre and post filtering technique, they also do map reconstruction. As I said, they create new routes, unknown roads, shortcuts, and they filter out new roads for the delivery partners, and they merge the, newfound roads with the maps which are already present. So this is how they create a better delivery option for the delivery partners. Now, moving on to the fifth one, which is active delivery partner dispatch, right? Now, delivery partners, what happens is based on their own gut feeling or, what their past experience is, they often travel to location which, according to them, their instincts will give them, higher orders, right? And delivery partner have also the tendency to go to, to places where they will have less traffic, and they will be able to deliver more and then get more commissions and incentives. So delivery partners often create or travel through to locations which, according to their instinct and experience, drive higher orders for them, right? Which is obvious. And as a result of this behavior, a gap in the supply and demand is created. Obviously, if all the delivery partners go to certain place, which has a lot of restaurants, and the roads are not that much, does not have that much traffic, so all will try to go there. And so at one place, there will be a lot of delivery partners, and at the other place, there will be very less delivery partners. So the supply and demand will be, a gap will be created, which will lead to shut down due to a short supply of specific location. So as I said, your 10 minutes delivery probably will have 2 or 3 minutes of preparation time, and then 6 to 7 minutes of delivery time. So if delivery partners are too far away from your location, so this does not work. So this gives you an active delivery dispatch, right? Active delivery partner dispatch. Now, how does this work? So first of all, this model, which is created through deep Q network based multi-agent reinforcement learning model, which is again a type of machine learning model, it takes into consideration the predicted demand. What is the demand in that particular area, right? And what are the available delivery partner supply. Now, based on this, the model will quickly create a scenario wherein it will see, okay, so in this particular location, I think the demand is probably high, and we have less delivery persons or delivery partners in that particular area, so we will not be able to match our estimated time of arrival. So what it will do, it will, whenever a new delivery partner, or a existing delivery partner delivers something at the door, au- automatically they will get the new order, or new takeaway or the new order from that particular restaurant where the delivery partners are less. So this will in turn suggest uh, our delivery partners how, where to go, right? And which route to take. And this will eventually help them to recommend appropriate locations to free delivery partners, right? So what it does, it takes predicted demand and available delivery partner supply as input, and then it creates a reinforcement learning model. Reinforcement learning model, those who know, uh, it's actually a model which works on reward and penalty, right? It penalizes for any wrong action, and it awards for any um, uh, right action, right? Robots which we actually create are part of the reinforcement learning model. But it actually, this model actually uses a deep q network based multi agent, and this will actually give you location recommendation. So what happens through this, or what is the overall impact? The overall impact is that it leads to an increased percentage order of the delivery partner, and when they follow these recommendation, there a decrease in time between delivery and their next order gets created. So you all can understand this actually creates a optimization model which eventually takes into consideration how efficiently delivery partners should pick up orders and deliver orders, right? So how will the 10 minutes delivery model work, right? So we are over to the third section, which is the 10 minutes delivery model. So now you understand that the five major points which we discussed earlier, apart from the menu digitization, which is again a very important aspect of it, because as more and more restaurants come into picture, they will be able to give 10 minutes of delivery, but the rest of the force which are predicting food time preparation, which is very important, enhancing road detection, which is very important to guide the delivery partners, active DP dispatch, which is very important to create the demand and supply, right, of the delivery partners, and the personalized homepage restaurants listing is very important for this 10 minutes prediction. Now if you understand the type of foods which will be eligible for 10 minutes of model are already pre-decided, so obviously you cannot expect slow cooked items to be part of 10 minutes of delivery option. So the options which are available will be already defined within a particular location, or within you know a particular geography, or particular city, or particular pin code, right? And then they have this dense finishing stations where they can quickly create a supply chain which will probably pack items within 2 or 3 minutes. So they will uh, go through the past records of customers, and the browsing histories of particular location and the best selling items of that particular area, and based on that they will create a model which will be able to pack these foods within 2 to 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever is their packing time or finishing time. So they will have this dense finishing stations all around the pin codes, and they will also list the bestseller items, which then restaurants will also be able to understand that they will have this much of demand for that particular item, and then they will be able to create a supply chain, or they will have enough people who will be handling, or they will have more of these robotic solutions which are already present in a lot of these Swiggy and Zomato um, cloud kitchens. And they will also look into the dish level demand prediction, so what type of dish is required, like whether it's a non-veg item or a veg item, whether within the veg item, if paneer is something which is in high demand, so they will also predict that. Now these are the items which will eventually go into the machine learning model, and they will track all of these data through the machine learning pipeline, which you can see here has a lot of machine learning algorithms which are working in parallel and working in series. So they will first predict the food preparation time. So as I said, momos are items which you can probably cook in 2 or 3 minutes, or the batches of momos which you can cook in 2 or 3 minutes, but the demand is so high, right? The food preparation time goes to 7 to 8 minutes, right? So this is something which this particular model will predict. And then the second one, where they will check whether if a customer is going to order in that particular pin code, what is the status of the road, right? Whether the shortcuts will work, or the existing delivery partners who are on road, are they facing any traffic, right? So this is how you can see they enhance the road detection. And then if there are very less number of delivery partners who are present, what they will do is they will bring in more delivery partners who are actually present in other locations to cater to this particular location where the demand is very high, so they will be able to match that demand and supply. And then they have at the end, so they will show these restaurants who will be eligible or who will be able to deliver these foods within 10 minutes, right? And when you open the app, you will probably see the restaurants or dishes will be available in 10 minutes. So all of these actually work together, and this is something, or this is the supply chain which is created and will be delivered within 10 minutes, right? So at the end your order will be delivered in 10 minutes. Now what are the conclusions and takeaways which we can take, which we see here? So Zomato's 10 minutes delivery will rely on a dense finishing stations network located in close proximity in high demanded neighborhoods. As I said, if I am staying in probably in if I am staying in Bangalore, right? And if I stay in a location, say Indranagar, which is again has a huge demand, so they will have to open a lot of these dense finishing stations in that particular area, so that they will be able to cater in that 1 or 2 kilometer radius. So this is how they create dense finishing stations and which are located very closely, right, to high demand neighborhoods. Then they have finishing stations will have, bestseller items for various partner restaurants, and which is based on predictability. So as I said, uh, they will predict, all these bestseller items for particular partner restaurants, and they will let them know, probably every day you sell 100 boxes of biryani, right? So tomorrow, since it's a Friday, you'll probably have, 170 boxes of biryani which will be sold, right? So these are the predictions which will already shared with the restaurant. So restaurants will also be able to create that, supply chain, or the number of folks, or number of cooks who work, right? And then company will leverage the dish level demand prediction algorithms and in station robotics. So you see a lot of these robotics is also present in a lot of these high end restaurants, and also in a lot of these cloud kitchens of Zomato. If you come across Bangalore, you will see a lot of these robotic stations which are actually present. So you can Google in and see those robotic stations. And then they will predict this bit depending on the multiple machine learning models, which is, predicting food preparation time, enhancing road detection, and active delivery partner dispatch, which we already talked about in the last few minutes. And the above point will ensure the food is sterile. So someone raised the issue whether they will give us, raw food. So the food will be sterile, fresh and hot when it is picked up by the delivery partner. So they will make sure that there is no, you know uh, issue with, food, because that is something which will derive the entire revenue, right? Obviously if you sell a lot of these, raw or stale items to customers, probably this will work for 15-20 days, not going to work for, for the big picture. Okay, and at the end we'll look into this breakup where we'll see, kitchen preparation time, which is given by Zomato. So this is not something which is shared by Zomato. I have not, created this slide. So this was actually shared by the CEO Dipender, Mr. Dipender, and he mentioned that 10 minutes of delivery will have 2 to 4 minutes of, kitchen preparation time because of limited fast selling menus, predictable demand, right? And the average distance which the delivery partners will cover is 1 to 2 kilometers, not more than that, right? So based on that, they will estimate whether the delivery partner will be able to, deliver the item within the next, 5 to 6 minutes. And as he said, delivery partners, safety is very much important. So on an average, if you, travel at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour, and you have these 1 or 2 kilometers of range, it takes you somewhere around, 3 to 6 minutes. So he has ensured that the safety of Zomato, delivery partners or other delivery partners will be taken care of, as opposed to what we see in this in today's time, where they have 30 minutes of delivery. They actually take, 20 to 15 to 20 minutes of time to for, you know kitchen preparation. So they have, extensive menus and unpredictable demand. So they have kitchen preparation time which is 15 to 20 minutes. And then they travel, 5 to 7 kilometers. When you open Zomato and try to, order from somewhere which is more than 5 to 7 kilometers, uh, uh, at times the, restaurant doesn't delivers to you, or else they will charge you extra amount for the delivery. And on an average we can see, delivery partners reach us within 15 to 20 minutes from once they leave and pick up the food nowadays. So this was the entire detail around, Zomato's 10-minute delivery. So it is not only about, predicting are what is the number of, what is the demand of that particular area, and creating these dense stores, or what we call the preparation, or the preparation hubs. uh, Now a lot of these actually things actually work in the background, as mentioned, the uh, four models which actively work together to create this machine learning model. and without these four models it is impossible for them to deliver in 10 minutes. So hope you understood the entire picture. So if you have any question, any doubt, do let us know. Also check out Tutort Academy's data science AI TSA courses. They are one of the best in the market. They have all industry, um, they have mentors from industry, and they have experience of more than 8 years plus. So you can always reach out to Tutort Academy. We'll be running these type of webinars very diligently, with a lot of informations which you'll probably not see over Google or YouTube. Probably after today you might see some videos over the internet, but this is how Zomato delivers, and will come back to you with more such use cases at a later point of time. Till then, be connected with Tutor Academy. They will be sharing some amazing courses, sharing some amazing case studies with all of you. And if, as I said, if you have any question, do let me know. Thank you very much. We'll see you again in the next class, in the next webinar, in the next case study. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.